Welcome to Sports Communications Topic 3. This is 3C Interviews, Conferences and Events Part 2, where we continue talking about speaking. There are 11 speaking tips that Stolt goes into in his book. Firstly, and reiterating what I said last time, enunciate clearly and don't have interrupters in what it is you're saying. Slow down so people can understand you really clearly. Use your voice, so vary your pace, your inflection, project your voice. Don't yell, but actually just project it like an opera singer would, so that everybody can hear you. Stand up straight, but don't be wooden. You're not frozen or cut out of stone. You need to be a person, a live person who's got interest, but don't slouch unless it's to emphasise a point. Don't fidget. So if you're somebody who clicks a pen, put the pen down, loop your thumb in your belt or something like that, but don't fidget with things. Move, but don't hide behind a podium. If you've got a podium, try and have a conversation wherever you can with the room. However, with that moving, don't intrude on the audience's comfort space. Audiences tend to get very, very worried when speakers start wandering amongst them, and when people are tense, they forget to listen. Look at members of the audience. One tip I remember being told at secondary school was, I'll just find 3 points in the auditorium and look over people's heads. Well, people can tell if you're not looking at them. You need to actually pick a few people and return to looking at those places, so you actually scan the entire audience. However, don't let your eyes dart from person to person so you look like you're trapped. Use gestures, but be careful not to make them too wild. I'm a horror for wild gestures and tend to hit things around me because I fling my arms out. If you're going to do that, make sure you give yourself plenty of room. And match your facial expressions with your gestures. So if you're actually laughing, make sure your gestures match what's happening on your face. Okay, so people who speak then. You need to think before you speak. Many times the biggest issues arise because you aren't prepared for a particular question, or you don't answer the question in the most direct way possible, so you actually look like you're trying to avoid the answer. So take a moment, have a think about what you're going to say before you say it. Understand who you're speaking to and what their interests might be. So don't forget that you can get a call from the media or a fan at any time, so don't answer questions or give out information without understanding who you're speaking to. It's the media's job to get information, sometimes at any cost, so just be aware of that. Always be aware of who's at the other end of the line. Remember that off the record does not exist. Only give out information that's accurate and approved. You're probably going to be speaking on behalf of an organisation, so make sure everyone's aware of what you're giving out and when. And it's really, really important to be fair and accurate. And it's more important to be fair and accurate than it is to be timely. Acting too quickly can create a news cycle that you really, really don't want. In today's society, the media is probably going to record you as well, so be aware of that. Give people the background so that they understand where you're coming from, and that's the right company line. It'll help making sure the right information is conveyed without giving your opinion, so just falling back on that can be the right thing to do. If you're the spokesperson, then you need to be careful not to become too much a part of the story. So just be careful, disseminate information, but don't create the news. So be Switzerland, be neutral, particularly when it's a crisis. Just keep falling back on the background, be calm, professional and calculated. Try not to get emotional or opinionated. Remember that the customer is always right. Be organised and professional, and remember to try and create a sound bite.